So let's be real. Calling something cringe has become the internet's like favorite pastime. Why? Because it's the cheapest shot you can take. It's like a risk-free way to tear down someone else's genuine attempt at growth. And now, I'm going to pause for a second because I want to be clear when I'm talking about like cringe and stuff like that. Like there's actual categories and stuff on Instagram of people making cringe content, like cringe videos. That's where they're trying to be cringe. Not really. I'm not talking about that. Okay. What I'm talking about is essentially like a modern twist on that saying of, crabs in a bucket. It's basically like put a bunch of crabs in a bucket. They could climb out, but every time one starts to climb out and it's getting close to climbing out, the other crabs pull them back down, right? So then no crabs escape because none of the crabs want to see any of the other crabs do better than them. So this calling something cringe, I'm talking more like that. Calling something cringe is a way of just tearing down somebody's genuine attempt at like growth or progress or simply like stepping outside of their comfort zone. You know, that person is trying something new. And here's like where the I don't want to call it a power dynamic, but it's like the person who's trying the new thing, you know, the person that's stepping outside of their comfort zone and trying something new, they are actually risking something. They might fail. They might stumble. It might not be smooth. It might not be a success. But the critic who yells, "That's cringe," that's cringe. They are risking nothing. They have no skin in the game. They're literally like that person in the background. You suck. Like heckling a comedian. That comedian spent hours like putting their act together and trying different things out. And then that heckler is just like, boo, you suck. It's like, all right, cool. They just literally they have the ability to sit back and just criticize and boo without any skin in the game. But what they're calling cringe is oftentimes just what something looks like in the beginning when you're not good at it. And you can totally sometimes you'll see people, especially younger people, like teenagers. Teenagers are probably like the biggest or like the clearest, easiest example of this, especially boys. I don't know if girls are like that, but like you'll see something where a teenage boy is around his group of friends and he wants to try something new that he's never done before. Like, I don't know, skateboarding. And he's like, I'm going to jump on this skateboard. But if he acts like he's trying too hard or cares too much about the outcome, he risks being called cringe, right? So then what does he do? He's like, I don't really care about like doing a kick flip, like if I just do a kick flip, I just do a kick flip, I don't really care about it, you know what I mean? Because like that's like protecting his image. He's like, yeah, if I suck and this doesn't look very cool, it's all right because I wasn't trying to look cool. I wasn't even, I wasn't really trying. It's like that armor against the person that wants to call him cringe. You're being cringe. Hey, I didn't even care, man. I didn't even care. I didn't really even want to know how to do a kickflip. So, but when you from the outside, when you look at something like that, and you look at somebody's first attempts at figuring out how to do something, their first trial, their first error, it looks awkward. But what looks awkward today is like the raw material for growth tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been doing this long enough for me to go back. Well, you can go back and you can look at one of like my first like couple videos. And there's already a lot of progress between the first video and this video, just in terms of like lighting and sound and stuff like that. So in the very beginning, yeah, like if I go back and look at that, even now, so I can't even imagine like 10 years from now, but if I go back now and I look at some of those, like, yeah, those make me feel cringe, but it's because I know that I was trying and the product that I was putting out isn't the best that I can do. But you know what? It was the best I could do at that time. I wasn't just like slopping out some piece of shit. It's just I didn't know, I didn't have the skills yet. And so it's so easy for somebody to be like, that's cringe. And it's like, yeah, you're right. It is cringe. But if you keep doing it, like you'll learn how to do that kickflip, or one day I might fire up a live stream and have 1,000 people watching or whatever. You know what I mean? And then there'll be enough signs of success that people won't call it cringe anymore. It's only cringe when you're like trying to succeed and you care about something. It's basically just lazy criticism, you know? It doesn't require any thought. It doesn't require any evidence or courage. It's just a sneer. Like, you know, people just being kind of shitty. And what it does is it punishes vulnerability. And I think a part of that comes from jealousy that other person doesn't seem to care if they are coming across as cringe or not. They're willing to step up and step outside their comfort zone and try something new, where a lot of times the critics are sitting back criticizing, but really they're doing it out of jealousy because they wish that they didn't care as much what other people thought of them and they would try something new, you know? But they're like paralyzed. They care too much about others. So again, it comes from a perspective that's very safe for the criticizer, but very costly for the creator. And I think it really stops a lot of people from trying in the very beginning. And like I was saying, anytime, every skill, idea, movement starts rough. Cringe is often just the beginner phase in disguise, you know? Like, you suck at things when you first start. I have had people start jujitsu, and then surprise, you're not amazing at it when you start. Like, nobody is. Nobody. You know? I've had people start jujitsu and then quit, and their reason for quitting is that they are going to like somehow get better on their own on the side and then like come back to jujitsu when they're better at it. And it's like, no, that's, for one thing, that's not how it works, right? You get better at doing the thing, and we're all here to do the thing and get better at it. So I don't know how some people think they're going to like go, I don't know, watch some YouTube videos and then come back to class when they don't suck as much. It's like, that's part of the process, you know? It's part of the beginner phase. It's built into it. And it keeps people stuck in their comfort zones because they're afraid of being criticized or called cringe. And the comfort zone, it breeds stagnation. The people doing things that might look cringe are the ones testing their limits. They're creating, improving. The people that are mocking are literally just stuck in place. And I think the best way, if you are like trying to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, try something new and maybe come across as cringe, I think the best way to silence cringe is to literally just keep going until your results speak for themselves, right? Mr. Beast. I don't know how many videos he's made at this point, but like everybody knows who Mr. Beast is. I guarantee you, if you watch his first video and you rewound time and you were like, you didn't know who he becomes, and you just looked at that video, you'd probably be like, this is cringe, man. I don't think you have what it takes, you know? But for whatever reason, he believed he had what it takes and pushed through. And now there's no arguing the fact that he has what it takes because he has so much evidence behind him, so much proof, you know, multi-millions in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, so results always more important than ridicule. If you're worried about the ridicule, keep stacking the results until it absolutely overshadows any negativity people throw your way. And like talking about Mr. Beast looking back, like, let me ask you, comment this below. Have you ever looked back at something you once thought was cringe and realized it was actually just the start of your progress or the start of your journey? You know, comment that. Why do we give strangers zero grace, but expect all the grace in the world for ourselves when we're learning? You know, it's so easy to be like, look at that idiot. God, he sucks. But then flip it around and be like, go easy, guys. I'm new. I'm just starting this. You know, like, it has to go both ways. And would you rather be called cringe for trying, or just be invisible for never stepping up and trying anything in your life? You know? So here's my take. To sum it up, cringe isn't the enemy. Think of it like it's the toll booth on the road to growth. Everyone pays the toll. Everyone. The only ones who don't are the ones that never leave their comfort zone and they never get on the road to begin with. And their opinions aren't worth much anyways. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that made you think of things a little differently. And if you did, please comment below. I love to read people's stories. It's very satisfying.